Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and it is a beautiful day, an amazing day here in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. It is 64 degrees. I think we hit a high of about 66 to 68, and it is amazing. It's sunny, it's nice, it's a little bit breezy. It's kind of the perfect kind of spring day, right? So we're very fortunate here. I didn't get to see much of the day. We've been working hard here today. I went out for a few minutes. I had to run home and pick up some things. So I went out for a few minutes and it was gorgeous out. I did not want to come back. I took some time to actually go into the flower beds and take some photos. So if you didn't see on my personal timeline on Facebook and Instagram, actually, I posted some photos from the flower beds because it's just a beautiful day and I needed to spend some time outside a little bit. When I get home tonight, we'll probably take the cats out for a little walk, just a little one, before it gets too dark outside. But they really wanted to go out when I was home. They were begging, Barnaby especially, begging to go out. But I had to go back to work. So after this video, I'll be running home to feed them and take them out for a little bit. So that's pretty much my day so far. I mean, there's a lot that we did in between all that. I have been working, I got feedback from our podcast interviewee, and we have a few tweaks to make on the podcast. So I worked on those today as well. And we should, hopefully, we have another version of it out ready for approval. So I'll be waiting to hear back from our interviewee there. And hopefully today, maybe today's the day, we'll get that podcast interview out to all of you. I think it's a really interesting thing. The person we interviewed is blind, but they still work with beads and they still make beautiful things. And I think it's just an amazing thing to see how people cope with working in different ways, right? Many of us obviously use our eyes to design things and to put things together and just, manipulate things. And when that is not available to you, it's very interesting to see the process and hear about the process, right? So that's what this podcast episode is about. I'm hoping it's going to go well and the edits are good. We did record it last year, so that was part of the thing. Some things have changed since last year, so I added a little addendum at the end to talk about some of those changes. So hopefully that goes well, and we will be hopefully publishing that tonight. We'll see how it goes. Maybe not till tomorrow. So do stay tuned. I hope that seems interesting to you. It's interesting. It was insanely interesting to me. And I really, looking at it, I could have asked so many more questions, but I wanted to just give an overview and just kind of, I don't like it always when we interview someone, I don't want it to be about the thing, right? The idea that they're blind and just talking about that. I also want to know about the person. I want to know things that they love and things that they're interested in. So we try to make the podcast, and I don't know if you've watched or listened to any of them. We don't have a video podcast yet, so it's all audio. I don't know if you've listened to any of them, but we try to talk about their work, but also things in their own life and things outside of their work that they like to do, because I think it's the whole person that is interesting, right? Of course, things that people do are interesting, but I like to, get to know the whole person when we're doing an interview. So, hopefully that'll go out tonight. We'll see. And we'll be able to share that with the world. I think it's really, like I said, I think it's really interesting, and I think it's really intriguing to find out how people work with things in different ways. So that should be happening soon. So that's what I spent part of the day doing today. We've been, I showed these, the polymer clay beads, last week, I think. And we're still working on those, getting those photographed. We've been working a little bit every day trying to get new things photographed in the online store, but we haven't gotten a lot out there yet. We were almost every day adding something to the online store. Now we've slowed down a little bit, but that's okay because we're slow on our shipping and packing right now because we are in the process of moving all of this stuff over to Star Cottage Studio. So I've gotten a few emails. Hopefully people who are wondering about things watch these lives. I do like to let people know that these lives, if we're having a problem, if we're having, you know, some delays in something, or if something isn't working, these lives are where I like to talk about it and let people know. So if you are like, why didn't I get my order? What's going on? Instead of just wondering, check the live every once in a while. I mean, you can always send us an email too, but check the live. And normally, like I've been talking about us moving the shipping department and getting over to Star Cottage Studio. So we're hoping that Star Cottage Studio, that will all be built out hopefully by the end of this weekend. That's the goal. I think we're going to spend some time tomorrow over there doing that. We were talking about going to Pittsburgh tomorrow to do some things up at Contemporary Craft, but I think that's changed. So I think we're going to be able to finish up some of our some of the build out we have to do up there. And we should be moving everything over to Star Cottage Studio for the online store, which means all the pewter stuff, everything, the thousands and thousands of things that are in the online store, all moving over to Star Cottage Studio. And hopefully that'll be done by the end of this weekend. And so Monday we can get shipping on all of those fine pewter items that you've all ordered from us. And we want to get those in your hands. Believe me, we want them out there to you. We're not holding on to them because it's fun. We definitely want you to see them. We want you to use them. We want you to publicize them and show people what they are. So we keep getting those orders because we need to keep selling that, because we need to keep paying for that, right? So we're definitely hoping for that. And then during next week, I'm hoping that we can get this wall either removed or pushed back, whatever we have to do, so that we can enlarge this classroom space, because the week after that, or maybe even the week after that, we're going to be starting classes soon. So I have a few weeks in between trying to get all this moved out and get this moved back and get this space back here where I am kind of set up and ready to start classes again here at Allegory Gallery, in-store classes. So that is what is going on here. We're planning, doing a lot of planning. Andrew is up at Contemporary Craft today, as is Artist in Residence for the Metal program. He's hanging out there today. So I doubt we'll see him pop on here. Sometimes he still does, though, when he realizes it's 5, but he's probably, I think they close around 5. So he's probably on the road right now. So that's what's been going on with me. How are you all doing? How is your Earth Day going? Are you having a good Earth Day? That's one of the other reasons I wanted to share the picture. You know, we have, you know, our surroundings and, you know, where we live here in Western Pennsylvania are so beautiful. And we're so lucky to, you know, we have conservationists who are trying to watch out for wetlands around the area and just the general ecosystem here. We have a lot of people who believe in doing things naturally and, you know, natural species of plants and things like that. So we're very lucky, and I wanted to share some of that beauty. I know tulips are not natural, but that's what's in our flower bed. We have a lot of tulips and daffodils and things. And I just wanted to share some of that beauty today with you. So if you saw that on my Instagram or on my Facebook timeline, those are some of the pictures I took today. Just simple pictures of flowers, just to, you know, brighten an Earth Day up, hopefully. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for joining in. Beth Ann is with us. Donna Mosley is joining us today, working a show today. Nice, Donna. I hope it's going well for you. Harry is with us. Thank you for joining us. June is here too. Suzanne, Fran. Let's see here. Anne is with us. Says, I like the podcast. I'm glad you do. I hope you all watch the podcast. If you haven't, I keep saying watch, listen. We don't do video podcasts yet. I could do video podcasts. Maybe we will get into that. But right now, we're sticking with audio only. I think that's how I prefer to do podcasts. There are a few podcasts on YouTube that I actually watch because they're video. But I don't necessarily like that. I like the idea of a podcast being audio and you can listen to it anywhere. And I just don't really get into watching like, I like to watch tech videos and all that, but just watching two people sit at a microphone and talk to each other, I don't know, it's just not my thing. So that's why we do the audio ones. Maybe we'll change that someday if there's a need for it, but for right now, we just do the audio, and you can hear them all. Where am I? At allegorygallery.com. You can just go to the podcast tab on our website and you can listen to them there. Or if you're on, Apple Music, you can go to their podcast. If you're on Spotify, you can go to their podcast, and Allegory Gallery interviews should be there for you to listen to. We're on most of the major platforms. So you should be able to find Allegory Gallery interviews there. Okay. Marianne is with us. Thank you so much. I saw the earrings, Harry, that you made with the mermaid beads, mermaid glass. That's really cool. Really cool. I like them. I like them. They look good. They looked springy, summery. They look good. Let's see here. Suzanne says those were cute earrings, Harry. They were. They're very nice. Very nice. Marianne says, I loved all the flowers as we don't have any here yet. Yeah, they're coming, right? They're going to come for you. The flowers will be there. We're very lucky too in that our flowers bloom pretty early compared to around the area here. Like where I grew up is not far away, but for some reason, the way the mountains are, we are surrounded by old mountains, and they're not really, really tall because they're older. They're worn down. But we are surrounded by tall mountains, and whatever happens in that vortex of air that comes through and the weather patterns, we hold a lot of warmth in this area. So things tend to bloom a little bit earlier than even some of the neighboring towns. And our Star Cottage studio is only about, I don't know, it's 10 minutes. So it's like, what, 8 miles or something from here. It's not very far at all. And even between here and there, just going 8 miles or so outside of our little town, it gets freezing cold sometimes compared to what it is here. Or, the patterns, it's always cooler up there. So in the summer when it's hot in town, we can go up to Star Cottage Studio and it's a few degrees cooler, which is so strange, but it's a little higher on the mountain too, which ties into all of that. Suzanne, organized your jewelry. What a job. I bet it is, or was. I'm glad that you got through it. I do not want to organize jewelry. I have to do it enough here at the shop, and I know what it's like to try to organize things, especially when you make your own. Like Andrew had quite a collection for a while, and especially when he was doing writing for books and magazines, he had a lot of jewelry that sometimes he would wear, but some of it wasn't really his style or my style. And you just have all this jewelry around, and what do you do with it, right? Some of it you take apart when you're done and you do something else with it if you're not going to use it. But yeah, organizing large jewelry stashes is a difficult. So I commend you on that. Good job. Good job. Oh, let's see here. Diane, good time for a break. Loading up the motorhome is work, especially when I have to choose which beads to take along. Love the flower pictures. Yeah, I can't imagine being on the road for part of the year and having to choose what things go with you. That would be very hard for me, I think. I don't have, I guess I don't have a lot of stuff. I mean, I do have stuff. We all have stuff. There's a lot of like clothing that would probably be pretty easy for me because I wear mostly the same thing a lot of the time. You probably see me in the same like 5 or 6 shirts all the time. I used to have a lot of clothes. When I was in New York, I was like a designer name fiend. And I had a lot of stuff. And then I grew out all that stuff. And then I realized, don't put a lot of money in that stuff when you're just going to grow out of it anyway, right? So now I don't spend a lot of money on clothing usually, because I just fluctuate in size so much sometimes. So I've decided that's that. But for things, like my electronics and just things we would need to do our job, I guess, it would be hard. That's like even when I go up the road to Star Cottage Studio and we're there, if I don't bring the thing, if I forget some little thing at home, it's just like, Okay, now I got to go home and get it. If I didn't have that ability, or if you had to go buy a new one or something, that's hard. That's a lot of brain decision power. They talk about how making decisions, takes a little bit of your energy. For every decision you have to make, you lose a little bit of energy doing it. And I think they call it decision fatigue. You can actually get into when you have to make too many decisions and you just get worn out. And so that's decision fatigue right there, trying to figure out what to take along with you, especially beads, right? Especially beads. So it says new haircut. No, didn't get a new haircut, not yet. I need to get a trim though. These sides are starting to get long, and we're going to have we're working with some people, and I think we're going to have some photos taken and some little bit of publicity done for the shop and for the cottage. So I have to get my haircut tuned up. I got to get the tune up, right? But thank you anyway. Thank you. I'm glad it looks good. Every day my hair just does whatever it wants to do pretty much. Let's see here. Suzanne says, I can't imagine tiny house living. I love the idea of it, but I think I love the idea of a tiny house because I love the idea of having a separate office or like my own separate space that I can go to and just be in. But to have that as my only place, I think I would go insane. I think I would go insane because I think I could cut down the stuff I own maybe better than Andrew. I don't know, because I do like my things, but I don't know. I love the idea of tiny houses as like a second home, or as just an like I said, like, I always wanted a cabin out in the woods, or like out in the woods by a lake. That would be perfect if I could have like a lake with woods and a cabin. That's what I would love, for a place to go and work and just contemplate and kind of heal and just take care of myself. That's what I would love a tiny house for. But just to live in one, Hello, Susan. Thank you for tuning in. Lisa says, hello, William. Clothes, I keep going through them, and then 6 months later again, right? Yeah. I have clothes still in our closet from New York that do not fit, that I know, like, I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to be better about exercising. And now that it's getting nicer, I usually try to start running a few times a week. And I'm doing some little workouts, with the resistance bands and stuff on this little thing I bought. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to be better, but I am never, ever, I know, going to fit into these clothes that are still in my closet. It's just not going to happen. I'm not a 27-inch waist anymore. It's not going to ever be that again. I don't think I would want it to be that again. That was very skinny, and I could never put on weight before. Well, I flipped the other way now. I could put on weight just looking at food now. So but they're still in the closet. Can't get rid of them. Who knows why? I have tried to throw some of the things out, but of course, because we do crafts and we do all different things, Andrew has decided that my old jeans are going to stay because we might do crafts with them or make paper with the fibers from the jeans, and certain things like that. So, it's if it were me, they would have been gone. I would have donated them or threw them out. I wanted because it disgusts me that I used to fit into them and I don't anymore. But I'm getting easier on myself lately, but it really was a disgusting thing to me for a while. And so I get it. You go through them, and then you have to go through them again, and you fluctuate in size again. So you're like, okay, do I keep these? Am I ever going to lose that weight again? Or am I ever going to put that weight on again? It's not, talk about decision fatigue too, right? Susan says, your hair doing whatever looks awesome. Mine, not so much. Yeah, sometimes mine does not. Sometimes it just looks, crazy. But I like having a little bit of crazy hair, and it's just what I've always done. I've never had, well, not for a long time. I've not had really controlled hair for a long time. So I'm kind of used to this. I'm probably getting to the age when you should have some, but I don't care. I don't care. I like my hair this way, so I'm going to keep doing it, whether it looks good to everyone else, I guess, or not, as long as I like it. Let's see here. Susan says, I think I'd have a difficult time with a tiny house with 1 hub and 3 cats. Yeah. Yep. Andrew and I and the cats in a tiny house. No. It just would not work. We both, I think, love the idea of them, but like I said, I think it's like if we could maybe take a tiny house and put one on one side of our house and put one on the other side of our house and put like hallways or like a covered walkway, and we each had a place to go that was like our studio room and we could design it how we wanted. I think that would be nice. But living in one, no, definitely not. Susan says 2 cats, a ton of books, music, jewelry making supplies, plus all my various tchotchkes ranging from Kokesh and Dream Pet, I don't know what that is, classic Matchbox cars to Fenton glass cats, and, right? I know. And, you know, especially as we age, some things you just decide aren't for you, right? But sometimes you pick up extra things that you just now know are for you, and you collect those things. And I tend to do that too. Let's see here. Harry has not had a barbershop visit for 2 years, nearly 6 months since my daughter cut it. Yeah, I wanted to hold off on getting my hair cut during the pandemic. So I'm like, this is the perfect excuse for me to have really long hair, because I've always wanted to do long hair. There's, you know, when you're used to having short hair, and short and the straight hair, what are the things you want? You want to try long hair. You want to try curly hair. I'd love to try curly hair, but I think it would look ridiculous on me sometimes. But then I'm like, what if it looks good? I should at least try it once in my life. But during the pandemic, I wanted to try for long hair, and it just got to the point I couldn't handle it anymore. And I think when you start with hair like this and it starts getting long, you have to really maintain it as it gets longer, or else it starts to look really bad. And it was starting to look bad. So I had to get mine cut. Let's see here. Karen says, I'm living in a tiny house now while waiting for my house renovations to be finished. Too tiny, feeling closed in. Yeah, I think I would too. I have my own room in our house for my office, and sometimes I still feel like I'm too closed in. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself, and I don't think you could ever be by yourself in a tiny house unless you kick everyone else out. And that's the thing. I'm an extroverted introvert. I've talked about this before. I like talking to people when I'm at the store. I like when I'm at a show, I can really go a lot of times, and I can really talk to people and feel fine. But once I'm done, once I've hit my limit, I need to recharge, and I need a place to go to recharge. And a tiny house I would never be able to recharge in my own home, and it would make me insane, I think. It'd make me mean, at least, and probably going into insanity after that. Let's see here. She meant Kokeshi. That I know. Kokeshi. Yes, good. Wooden stylized Japanese dolls. Cute. Harry's in a 1,000 square foot house with 6 cats. That's maybe not too bad. I'm trying to think. I think our house, I think it's like 1,300 or 1,400 square feet, I think is what it's rated at. But we have 3 cats, so we have a little bit more room. You have 6 cats. That's a lot. I don't think that's too bad though. I think maybe that would be doable. Maybe. You know, we're in the US and tend to hear, I don't speak for everyone, but we tend to hear like space. We like big houses, lots of property. I've always liked that. I think though, if I had to choose, do I want more property or do I want a bigger house? I think I would rather have more property with a smaller house rather than a big house that has like almost no property. I do enjoy going out in the yard. I do enjoy, you know, doing gardening sometimes when we get the moment to do it. And I do like the privacy that more property can afford you. So if it were between that, if somebody said, I'll give you 300 acres of land, but you have to live in a tiny house, I might do it. I might do it. I don't know. That would be a hard choice. It's not one that I'm liable to get anytime soon, but I think that would be it. So yeah. Karen says we are never happy with what we have, right? Curly hair needs more care. Yeah, it does, right? And I don't want like super curly. I just want like some curl. Like my dad has some curl to his hair. Sometimes if it's shorter, he gets more curly. If it's longer, it gets less curly. But I always wondered what I would look like with curly hair. I don't know. Some people, I'm like, you just need to keep getting perms all the time because you look good with curly hair. And on me, I don't know. I've always just had like super straight hair. And that's been nice because I can do a lot with it, actually. I think it would be harder to have curly and then want to do something because like I couldn't do this with curly. Curly is pretty much curly. It just does what it does. So you'd have to straighten it out. And so I know I'm lucky, but I do wonder. I do wonder sometimes. Donna says, Lord, I couldn't fit all my stuff into a tiny house. No, there would be some massive, probably massive storage units being rented, at least at first, because I don't know. It would be very hard. You know, but then once you get rid of things, sometimes you really don't miss them, right? Sometimes you just learn to live like that. And you're like, how did I always have this stuff around me? Like I tried to clean out my office a little bit and I started getting a little bit harsh with my throwing away of things. And I just started throwing things away and I don't miss them. I don't miss them at all, really. Marianne has a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 cats. I could see that. I could see that being okay. I grew up in a very small house. I've talked about this at times before. It was only meant to be a summer cottage. It was meant to be someplace that a family would go in the summer, rent the house for maybe a week or so, and be by the lake. And my parents bought it outright and turned it into a house. They did add a room onto it, so we did have a little bit of extra space because we added one maybe 10 by 10 room onto it. But it was technically a 2-bedroom, 1 bath originally. We added the other room, which became kind of like a bedroom / laundry room. And we had many animals, dogs, cats, bird at one point in time, and we all fit. And like I said, it was, I like the space I have now. I will say that. I never grew up in a house that had stairs, like a second story. So I always wanted a house that definitely had a second story when I grew up. So we have that now, and I'm happy for that. But yeah, I grew up in a very small house, and we all fit. You know, you make do, right? And you get cuddly, and you get close, and it's fine. Karen says, I have a lot of hair. When it gets too long, sometimes it becomes heavy. Yep. My hair, I don't let it get long enough generally. At one point I let it get really pretty long, but I wasn't maintaining it, so it looked kind of messy. But yeah, I could see that. But my hair is pretty light. I have pretty light hair. Harry says, my daughter says, I forgot to say it's full of books and art and projects, right? Isn't probably all of anyone who's watching this probably has a lot of the same, because I know we all like the same thing in a lot of cases. Many of us here like books. We have tons and tons of books. Most of our books cases are stacked like 2 books deep for every shelf. And yeah, we have lots of books. We like books. I don't read as many books as I actually purchase. That's an issue. We've talked about that here too, but it is you know, it is what it is. At least I'll have the books. They're not going anywhere yet. And then art and projects, of course, right? A lot of us here do that. Susan says, our home is about 1,500 square feet. It's the right size for us. Yeah, I believe our house is around there. It's 2 stories. We technically have a basement and an attic that are usable. And I would love to do our attic at some point, but there's more changes to the house that I'd rather do before we do the attic. But the attic could definitely be like a master bedroom or something. It was going to be Andrew's studio before we got Star Cottage Studio. We were going to turn the attic into his studio. But I'm glad that we got Star Cottage Studio because he gets to get out of the house. Sometimes I think working and living and stuff all in one place can sometimes be difficult, and maybe not for everyone. But I'm one of those people that I like to have a place to go to do stuff sometimes. Like even when we had the store in a much smaller location, I had considered renting an office space just so that, you know, when I had to do the office work, I wasn't doing it at home all the time. And that never actually happened because, you know, money is hard, and why spend it on that when you do have a place at home you can do it. But my preferred thing is to be able to get out of the house to do things at least once in a while, right? Have a place to go. Teresa says, I like more property in a smaller house. I love my garden. Yeah, I think if we could do, you know, I love our house in town. It's wonderful. I love being in town. There were a few different houses we looked at while we were looking at our house, and some of them had a little more property or had a little bit more space around them. I might like that. But I am happy where we are for now. But if we ever, you know, have more money that we can have someplace somewhere else, I would definitely, you know, my goal, I would love to have, I've always had this dream of having a home in Portugal. Don't know why, don't know where that comes from. I don't speak Portuguese. I've never studied Portuguese. I would like to learn it, but I just, you know those things that sometimes enter your brain. I hope it happens to other people. And they enter your brain and it just becomes a part of you for some reason. You don't know why, you don't know where the idea actually came from or how it came to be. But I've always wanted, I shouldn't say always, for a very long time, I've had this dream of having a place in Portugal. I've never even visited. I just know it. I just know it's supposed to be where I'm supposed to be for a little part, you know, even if it's just a little bit here and there. So, yeah. If ever that happens, I would like a place a little bit further removed from people, maybe. I grew up with fields around my house, and my grandparents had not many neighbors. Both grandparents actually didn't have very many neighbors. So I do kind of like that idea that there isn't somebody always around you. It makes me a little nervous. When I was in New York, that was a big change. And I got used to it. So that's why living in town here now isn't so bad. But I think if I would have, I don't think I would have been happy if I wouldn't have gone to New York first. If I wouldn't have done that, I think I would have tried to look for a place out in the middle of nowhere just because that's what I was used to. Okay. Diane says you would be surprised how freeing it is to get rid of stuff when you're ready. Yes, it is. I know. Let's see here. Lisa says the tiny house could make an okay studio, but put my guy and 3 large dogs? Nope, exactly. That's the thing. It would be a beautiful studio, right? I'd love to have my own tiny house for my own office, studio, whatever space. That would be great. But to live in, that's too much. That's too much. Let's see here. Susan says, I wanted a 2nd-story house when I was a kid, not enough privacy. Yeah, that was hard, right? When you're in a smaller house, like I said, and growing up, we were a close family. It was okay, but you don't have a lot of your space, right? You can go in your room and close the door, but then your brother comes in the room, or, you know, you can hear, like our doors, like because it was a summer cottage, there wasn't a lot of privacy. You could hear through the doors. You could hear pretty much standing anywhere. You could hear someone in the house talking on the other side of the house. It was not a huge house. So it was hard to have privacy. And I think that's why I liked a lot of outdoor time. I like to go out and sit on the dock of the lake and just kind of sit and watch the fish and watch the frogs go by. But yeah, privacy is a thing. Privacy is a thing. And as an extroverted introvert, I need my privacy once in a while, and I need my downtime, because once I give all that energy being extroverted, I'm like depleted, and I need to, boost myself back up and recharge a little bit. And I think we've talked about this. A lot of you out there I know are the same way. Let's see here. Sarah says, I grew up in a 1,000 square foot home. My mom did daycare in our house, 14 kids at a time, and we only had one bathroom. We only had one bathroom growing up, and there were only three people, four people, 3 to 4 people, depending on if my dad was around, in the house. And that was too much as it was. When we got our house, we have one bathroom now, one actual bathroom, but we have a toilet and a shower in the basement. It's not, and it has like a wooden surround built around it. But here in Western Pennsylvania, we have things called Pittsburgh potties. Many of you may know that. It's usually a toilet in the basement, sometimes not surrounded by anything. Sometimes it's in the middle of the basement. Ours is at least off to the side, along a wall. But we have the sink is across the room, across the basement, by the washing machine. But there is a shower stall and a toilet. So at least we have that. Because even Andrew and I, if we just had one bathroom, that's hard. It's hard. I know that sounds so elitist, maybe, I don't know, or spoiled, more like it. But one bathroom is hard. No, it doesn't matter if you have more than one person in the house. One bathroom is hard sometimes. There's always that emergency, right? There's always that emergency. Let's see here. Harry says, I've switched to a Kindle and wish someone would take the books. I have 150 linear feet of book shelving in both the living room and the dining room. Yeah, I tried switching to a Kindle. I still like to go to the bookstore. That's my problem. I love a Kindle. I love technology. I do read on my Kindle once in a while, but it's even worse for me because I will buy books on the Kindle and not get to them. And then sometimes I will buy the hard copy of the book because I'm like, I wanted this book, but I've never bought it yet. And then I go to my Kindle, I'm like, oh, I did already buy it. It's on my Kindle. So at least if I have the hard copies looking at me, it's at least a little bit easier not to rebuy the same book. Because I get into that. But I do get it. A Kindle is nice. I do like a Kindle. Let's see here. Harry says Portugal is probably a past life memory for you. Very possibly. I do believe that's possible. There are a lot of strange things in the world, and I feel pulled to that. I also, when I was young, felt pulled to Norway and Iceland and all that kind of good stuff up there. And I don't know why, but I would love to go to Iceland. I would love to see Iceland. I don't necessarily want to live there. I think I could live in a place like Portugal, maybe. I'd have to actually visit to find out, but something's telling me I should have a house there. So who knows? Maybe retirement. Maybe we'll go to Portugal. Who knows? But I do love fado music, so I could go to all the fado bars and just listen to music. It'd be great. Karen says, I've always wanted to be a double-digit millionaire, right? That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Even more. Why not? While we're wishing. Billionaire now, right? Millionaire is not good enough anymore. Can't do much with $1 million, so you got to go up to billion now. It's crazy. It's crazy how things happen. Oh, let's see here. Sarah says first world problems, right? They are. They all are. Everything I'm talking about, all first world problems. But that's the world we live in, right? And I try not to get too down on people when they talk about first world problems, right? Because you know what you know, and you know what you live. And yeah, I'm one of those people that um, I would. I don't want to say, like I don't want everyone to have the same thing because I don't think that's what everyone wants, right? I don't think that's what most people want. But I do, I would give up things if it meant somebody else got to have things, but it's not always the way the world works, unfortunately. So yeah, they're first world problems. They definitely are. Susan said we shared one bathroom for a long time in our apartment. It was great when we bought our home with two bathrooms. No more bathroom fights, right? It is. It is. It's hard. It's hard. And we don't share, like, we don't go in the bathroom at the same time. That's not, I know some people do that. Some people I've dated people who they were like, you can be in here. I'm like, no, I don't want to be in there at the same time. It's just, so I get that. I get, no more bathroom fights. Karen says, I have 3,000 plus unread books on my Kindle. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can say I don't have that many unread books. I don't have that many. But you'll get to them someday, right? You'll get to them all. You got to have them for when you're ready to read them. I believe that. Janice says, I'd love to go to Iceland one day. Yeah, I think it would be amazing. I love their culture. I love the stories they still believe in. I believe it's a beautiful place. I do want to definitely go sometime. Let's see here. Diane said, we loved Iceland, spent a week there. Great visit. Yeah, I'd love to visit that. Marianne says, I'd be happy with $1 million. Well, who wouldn't be happy, right? But you could spend $1 million pretty quickly these days. I guess it depends, right? I know Andrew and I would probably spend $1 million pretty quickly, but we do a lot with that money, right? We do a lot. We build lots of good things going on. Sarah says it's great when those first world problems are our worst problems, right? It is. Those are good. Those are good, I guess, problems. If you have to have a problem, having first world problems probably is a good thing. But yeah, we all have problems, right? My anxiety, definitely a thing. But we all get by how we get by, right? And we just keep going, and with each other's support and the care and support we get, even if it's just online, it's good. It's good stuff. It helps us all. Sarah says, oh, the beads I would buy with $1 million, right? Yep. Lots of beads. Andrew and I would love to build some kind of school, whether it's a metalworking school or just a crafting school in general. We'd love to do something like that to really, boost the community and really have great teachers come in and have a place where people can really just come in and get to work and do stuff and have exhibitions. And I'd love it. Have a shop where people can sell their goods. I'd love that. Love it. Oh, let's see here. Karen says, where I live, the average house costs $1.7 million for a small house. It's crazy right now. Even here, I mean, in our town, because of what our town is, it's kind of a little bit well known in the area, but houses are more expensive in our town than if you just went to the next town over and bought the same thing. You'd probably get, in some cases, twice the amount of house. Now you might have to put in some work fixing them up to go that big or that much of a difference, but you could do it. And we're lucky we're not like that crazy, thank goodness, because there's no way we'd have a house. But yeah, there are some places in the world that it's insane. We used to live in New York. It was crazy, and it's only gotten worse. So I don't know. I don't know what people do. I was thinking today that if we didn't have the store and I was still working at my other job full time, and that's what I did, I don't think we would even have the house that we have now because I don't think we could afford it. So, I'm very thankful for the things we have and for the things that we've created and built. And again, I know I say it all the time, but with your support, we're very thankful for all that you do for us too, because we're able to live this life, and we're able to have a house. We're able to even talk about having a cottage that we're working on, and you know, all these things that are problems. We're still very thankful that we have them in our lives. So thank you out there. Let's see here. Norma says, I've been to the Iceland airport 4 times, stopover for refueling. We never got to actually see the place. I've wanted to for many years. You should do it. Do it, Norma, do it. Okay, so let's take a look at actually the beads that I'm going to show you today. So today is going to be another Williams favorites. I pulled some of my other favorites from the store. These are like my second string favorites, right? But not really, because some of them are that I should have, you know, if I were going to show them yesterday. No, some of them are really, like many of them are really some of my favorites. I just didn't want to overwhelm you yesterday. So we have another batch today, another smaller batch. I don't want to go too much because that gets overwhelming and, you know, all that. We're already talking for 45 minutes. To sit here for another hour or so and just look at things, you'd be like zoned out by then. So I just want to do a few. And again, just like yesterday, if you would like to make a purchase, just send us an email. And I'm going to put that email up here, info@allegorygallery.com. Now I had someone, only one person, email kept getting rejected, and I don't know why. It doesn't seem to be on our end because we have been getting emails all day, all yesterday. My email hasn't stopped, and I've gotten emails from all of you requesting from yesterday. So if you do have a problem with your email, you can message us on Facebook. That's always an option. Just go to the business page. Don't message me personally. Don't message Andrew personally. I don't check my personal message that much, and I certainly don't check them for business requests because I don't look at my personal messages while I'm at work. So if you send me something about business, I'm going to see it at home. And then by the time I get here again tomorrow, I'm going to forget that you, and it's going to be a repeating process of me forgetting and then seeing your message and forgetting. Message me at the store. Just go to Allegory Gallery on Facebook and hit that message button. If you can't get an email, it's always best to email though right now, because that's where I'm checking the most. And that's where we're trying to divert everybody to. Do the email thing if you can. Now, I don't know why some people, or one person at least, couldn't get through, kept getting bounced back. I don't know. They said they copied the email or clicked on it at the bottom of our website, which should be fine. But, you know, some servers act up some days. So maybe it was just a thing. But if you are having a hard time, you can message us on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, you can message us on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, you can text message us. Our phone number is on our website. You can text to that number or you can call. And that's always an option. But just know that if we have a customer or something like that going on in the store, we may not answer your call. We may have to call you back. But if you text us, we can sometimes sneak it in too. So just let us know. All right. So if you see something you like today, just put down the SKU number that I'm going to show you. Send that to us in an email. Please be sure if you've not ordered recently or you've not ordered at all before, also make sure you send us your name, because sometimes emails come through and they don't have your name. People forget that. So make sure we have your name. Make sure we have your shipping address. I need to know where it's going to so that we can compute the shipping charge to you based on the weight of what you're getting. And so, yeah, we need your name, we need your shipping address. And if you are using anything but email, if you're messaging us somehow or text messaging us, you have to also give us your email address so that we can email you an invoice. All right. That's how it works. We're going to take a look at things. I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's check them out. Okay. You're going to see our ceiling. I'm going to rotate this down as it bobbles. And I'm going to flip the camera around here a little bit. Where is it? There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Suzanne says, William, you've been so helpful in aiding me with store purchases. Thank you. I'm glad it's worked out. And thank you for watching our videos and purchasing things. from the store from afar. We really do appreciate it. And that goes for anyone. If you watch any of our live videos, like the store tours that we do once in a while, and you see something on those, Suzanne does it once in a while. Just take a screenshot of what you saw in the video and send us an email with that and let us know what you're looking for. And I can see if it's still available and we can get it shipped out to you. All right. Now, I will say, if you are looking at something in the online store and you want to order something through a video, those are different inventory systems. So if you're doing that, please just purchase the things you want in the online store and then follow up with an email of the things that you want from these videos. And I will send you an invoice without shipping or with a reduced shipping amount for the things in the store, because you already pay shipping in the online store order, and we'll combine them. But we need to know that you need them to be combined. But yeah, sometimes I get messages purchasing things from the videos, and they say, oh, and can you add this and 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 this from the online store? And I have to write back and say, no, I can't. Because they are different inventory systems. So if you see something in the online store you like, just go ahead and grab it and then send me a message for anything else you want from the videos. And I'll send you an invoice. And if you let me know you just made a store order, I'll check the shipping amount and the weight and all that. And I'll probably be able to leave shipping off of your invoice from me. Okay? Hopefully that wasn't too complicated. I know I talk a lot. Let's get started. We talked about amethyst and Chevron Amethyst yesterday. So I found a strand that we have left of the Chevron Amethyst points. And look how beautiful that is. Now, dogtooth, chevron, I think we were talking about dogtooth. Usually people call them the same things. This is a Chevron Amethyst. And you have that little beautiful pattern in there with the white, right? And these are really nice. These are really nice. These are the kind of things you could take one of these and turn it into a nice little pendant on a chain or on a leather, or wire wrap it. You can wire wrap it nice if you wanted to make a bell on it. And you can make a necklace just out of one piece of this. Now this is $32 for the whole strand, right? And it is 5050 is the SKU. 5050. There you have it. I only have one of that available. One strand left. If you want it, you have to be the first one to email us about it. Then it's yours, right? Then it's yours. All right, let me set this aside. I'm trying to set up my little station here. I should have gotten better set up before I did all this. Okay, next up, blue chalcedony, again, for that Mercury retrograde coming up on May 10th, right? May 10th, I think we decided yesterday. Blue chalcedony, these are flat ovals. They're approximately 20 by 15 millimeters. Now, this is a short strand because the quality on these are a beautiful, beautiful quality. Very nice, very pretty. Hello, Lorraine. Thank you for joining us today. So this is $25 for this short strand. I think, let's just take a look. That's an 8-inch strand, so that's a half strand. That's a real half strand. $25 for the blue chalcedony ovals. That is 4693, and I believe I have 2 strands of this only left. 4693, but look at how pretty. That's a nice, nice quality right there. Beautiful quality right there. All right, so there's that. And these I just love so much. These are Z Agate Beads. Now these are not vintage or anything. These are modern. Z Agate Beads. And this is the darker color that we have. And this is a full strand of that Z Agate. $16 only for the full strand. One strand only available. 4574 is the SKU. 4574. And there's that strand. Now I'm going to leave this here because I also have this kind of carnelian looking strand in this color. So we have the black and kind of the orange brown color. And this has like little flowers on it. They're like little flowers. All right. So this is kind of a floral design on these. And this is also $16. 4574, same SKU, and that's why I wanted to leave them both up here, because if you give me the SKU 4574, you have to let me know which one you want, whether you want the darker one or the carnelian like one. Okay, red or black, which one do you want? Or orange and black, whatever you want to call it. Lorraine says those are both pretty strands. They are. They are. Beth Ann, you claim the same way you'd normally claim. Send us an email. That's the email's here for. Just give us the SKU number you want. And make sure you also, as always, send us your shipping address, your name, in case it's not on your email. And that's it. First person to email for each one gets it. We'll send out an invoice to whatever email you send to us. So if you send us from your business email, make sure you check that email, because we're going to just reply to that email. We'll send it to that same address for your invoice. Okay. Some people are like, you didn't send me an invoice. And I said, I did. They said, oh, it's in my business email. I said, well, that's what you sent to us. So be sure you use the right email. All right. Email Beth is right here. info@allegorygallery.com. It's in the bottom of your screen. All right. So there's the Z Agate. I only have one of each. Only one of each. Next up, these are some of my favorites. And they're kind of, you know, when you look at them quick, like look at these quick, they don't look like much, right? See? Especially when it's like that, right? But when you actually really examine these, this is Fossilized Coral. And I have 3 strands of these, I think, left. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. We haven't been busy in store. That's why. Beth Ann says, duh, I'm sorry. Don't worry. We all miss things, right? We're just glad that you're so excited you want to claim stuff, right? You want to get that information so you can get those claims in. And that's how you can pretty much always claim things, is send us the SKU, send us what you're looking for, or a screenshot if it's like from a, like I said, if it's from a store tour and I didn't give you SKUs and all that, you can always just send us a screenshot of what you're looking for and a description. That always helps. And just send us an email and we'll take a look at it for you and try and find it. These are 10mm Fossilized Coral rounds, $18 only for a full strand. And it is if I can get it, 4707. 4707. And really, these are super pretty. All different pretty colors in there. You have that coral pattern in there. Just beautiful. All right. And like I said, I think I have 3 strands of that available. Next up. Now, Jasper. Some people, you know, like Jasper. Some people don't like Jasper. For whatever reason, they just think it's cheap. But, you know, Jasper can be really pretty, just like agates, right? So this is zebra Jasper. And these are approximately 25mm puffed coins. 25mm puffed coins in the zebra Jasper. And they are beautiful. Beautiful color, beautiful patterns. think I have 2 strands of this available. And if you're new to us and you're like, why do you only have 2 strands? You're a bead store. We are, the thing that I like to tell people to so they understand is we are more like a boutique bead store. We buy in small quantities. We only buy things that we believe are good enough to sell to you. We don't just bring in junk and sell it cheap. That's not what we're about. So we want to make sure that the things we bring in are quality, but we try to do it at the best price we can for you. You know, sometimes when you hear boutique, you think it's going to be all expensive, and we try to give you the best deal we can. If we get a good deal, so do you. So this is Zebra Jasper, 25 millimeter puffed coins, $22 for the strand. It's a full-size strand. It is 4314 is the SKU. 4314. All right. Susan says, Jasper and agates are wonderful stones. Yes, they are. And I'm glad that more and more of these stones are getting their own names, because when you just say Jasper, people are like, oh, it's Jasper. I don't know how many times I hear that. Oh, it's Jasper. It's just Jasper. But Jasper is a lot of things, right? And so is agate. Same thing with agate. And I'm glad they're getting their own names because, like I said, it makes people feel better for some reason about buying it. It's not good enough that it's pretty. It has to have its own name and be a special thing sometimes. I don't understand. When I see pretty things, I like them no matter what they are. Let's see here. Next up, Mahogany Obsidian. This is 10 by 14 millimeter faceted puffed ovals. Faceted puffed ovals, Mahogany Obsidian. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have 1 strand of this left only. And the reason I keep saying, the reason that a lot of times we only have 1 or 2 strands of my favorite things is because when people come in, I show them my favorite things. Just like I picked these out to show you, I pick them out when I show people who come into the store too. So that's why a lot of these are down to just a few or 1 strand. It's not because it's the last of the lot. It's not because they were the ugliest of the lot. It's because I show them so often. Okay. So you're getting a kind of a view of what I would normally do if you walk in the store. Okay, 4316 is the SKU, 4316, and $10. $10. Jermaine's asking, in a future live, I would love to have you show the vintage beads you have in the store. My apologies if you've done that recently. I don't always catch the lives. I don't think I've done it recently. We've done some vintage plastic recently, so those we have. The thing about that is, maybe I can do my favorite vintage. We have so much vintage. We specialize in a lot of vintage stuff. So to do a show on vintage would be hard, but I can maybe break it down, and maybe we'll do like a vintage week or a vintage half week where I take a few days and show some vintage stuff. Because I haven't done that in a while, but we just have a lot. We have a lot. A lot can be considered vintage now. So we do have a lot of vintage stuff, but yeah, I can think about that. We have vintage Czech, we have vintage German glass, we have vintage beads, we have African, which would be considered really antique, much older than antique. We have Roman glass, we have vintage plastic and lucite. Yeah, we have vintage European crystal, right? We have a lot of vintage stuff. We actually have boxes of vintage things that I've not actually even opened yet. So that's something too. This, as you can see, is Silver Mist Jasper, approximately 25 by 35 millimeter puffed ovals. This strand is only $24. Look how beautiful that is. It's 4315. 4315. I do have 2 strands of this. They are a little bit slightly different, but they're still that same kind of look. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So there's that if you'd like it. Those are stunning. Those are really, really stunning. I look at these sometimes. I just hold them. They feel good too. They feel good. They've got a good feel to them. So if you like those, you like bigger things, that's great. I told you yesterday we have some blue Roman glass. We have a few strands of this available. Blue Roman glass. And says a local bead store, now closed, had 2 or 3 baskets of vintage glass or vintage German glass strands. I always went there first and bought from there. Love vintage glass. We do too. The vintage stuff is good stuff. Lorraine says these look greenish blue. The Roman glass, no, that's definitely blue. Just to show you, most Roman glass you see is green. That's the main one that you see. And these are definitely blue. Blue in color. Let me see if I have my other phone. Get the store phone here and get the flashlight out. See? Those are blue. Blue, blue. And then we have these that I showed you yesterday, the big chunkies that are green. Okay. So that's the blue Roman glass. That is 4567. 4567. And they're $40. All of our Roman glass strands are $40 a strand. We average it out that way. It makes it easier. Sometimes you can get these strands up in the hundreds of dollars. We don't often see them much cheaper than this. We try to keep ours on the lowest end, just because we want you to be able to afford it, right? So there's that. Next up, we have this beautiful half strand of blue apatite ovals. These are approximately 10 millimeter by 14 millimeter. And these are impeccably colored. These are beautiful. These are natural. Beautiful, beautiful apatite. That's why it's a half strand, because at a whole strand it would get pretty expensive. As you can see, these are $20. $20 for the half strand. It's an 8-inch strand. It is 4512. I have 2 of these available only. They're similar but different, right? Every rock is different. 4512. Beautiful blue apatite. Gorgeous color. Stunning little stones. And again, on the size, those are approximately 10 by 14 millimeter ovals. Now, next up, these are just fun. We do quality stuff, right? That's our thing. That's what we like to do. And I always said we like pretty things, right? We want to make sure they're pretty and that they're quality for you. That sometimes means that we also bring in things that are dyed. And we believe that dyed things can be beautiful as long as you know, right? You're not buying something that you think is natural and it ends up being dyed. So we try to make sure you know if something's dyed. We try to make sure we know as well. If it's dyed, we want you to know. These are dyed, obviously. Dyed shell and mother of pearl, $8 a strand only. 3983. These beautiful green dyed shell / mother of pearl pieces. I love it. I love green, and I think these are beautiful. Right? It doesn't have to be the expensive things that are your favorite things, right? What did I say? This was only, what, $8 a strand? $8 a strand for a full strand. Now, I also have that in a few other colors. One of the other ones I picked, because right now this is one of my favorite colors, is orange. So there it is in orange. Now, when things are dyed, we also like to make sure, if this is going to be like, it's going to sweat off on you, we're not going to sell it. So we do try to test things to make sure that they're not, you add some water to them or you scrub them a little bit, that they're not going to just, the color is going to come off on you. So we try to make sure of that as well. I don't know if this is, yeah, these are the same SKU as well, 3983. So you just need to let me know what color if you're looking to purchase these. And I think we have some other colors. I didn't bring them all out. These might be the only two colors we have in the shell. We also have blister pearls that are dyed. Let's see. Susan says, I've gotten several colors of the dyed shell beads from AG. They're all beautiful. Thank you so much. And no sweat discoloration, right? That's what we don't want you to sweat and wear stuff and then have color dripping down your neck or down your wrist. So yeah, we try to make sure that anything we get that's dyed is dyed well. All right, so there are those. And then the lanterns were a big hit yesterday. I sold a lot of the lantern beads that I showed you. So I brought some more in. This is Tourmalated Quartz, as you can see. Beautiful Tourmalated Quartz lanterns. I think these are, what does it say? 9 millimeter. 9 millimeter. And I have, I think, this one strand of these left. Lanterns sell out in the physical store very quickly. So it's no surprise that we only had one or so of each of these lantern strands around. And this is $28 for the strand, and it's $4,775 is the SKU. I think that's just so pretty. I love Tourmalated Quartz. I love tourmaline, period. So if it has tourmaline in it, I'm probably going to love it. Now, next up, we have some Opalite. Now, if you don't know what Opalite is, it is a man-made stone. It is a man-made stone. This is not a naturally occurring thing, but it's still beautiful, and it gives us, that opalescent glass. It's a very pretty look. And so we have strands of this. They're $18. This is for the 8 millimeter. I have to check that. Is that really 8 millimeter? Yes, it is. Just looked a little bit small. That is 8 millimeter. Sometimes my eyes are off. Do your eyes ever get off? My eyes are off today. 8 millimeter, $18 a strand for the Opalite. And it is 5031. 5031. And this is done really well. Sometimes with the Opalite beads, they do them like half and half, where they do the mold. These are just round. You don't see the, the split you sometimes see when they do that. Now I also have them in the much smaller 4 millimeter size. 4 millimeter size. So these are the little ones. And so the 4 millimeter, if you're interested in those, they are $14 for the strand, and they are 5029. 5029 for the smaller size. Now I have one strand that I didn't bring because it needs to be priced, but I have one strand in between. I think it's 6 millimeter. And if this is 14 and that's 18, I'm guessing it's 16. That's my guess. So if you do want that, even though I'm not showing it to you, just send me a message. If you want, maybe you're looking to collect them all, get one of each size, right? Karen says, one of my favorites are Amylites and Tourmaline. Yes, 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 yes. I like Amylite. All right. Next up, who likes peach aventurine? I do. These are peach aventurine 5 by 8 millimeter approximately. Smooth rondelles. Very pretty peachy color. Very pretty peachy color. Looks good on there, right? With that carnelian-like color, that brick color. So these are $24. And they are SKU 5028. Susan says a little like moonstone. They are. That's why I have to always look at these, whether they're peach moonstone or peach aventurine. I always guess that they're moonstone and they're not. 5028. But these are just lovely. I love kind of this little series of these 5x8 rondelles. I showed you these yesterday if you weren't tuning in. These are the Amazonite ones. And we had these, which are the carnelian, right? I had these, which were the amethyst. Those are all still available, surprisingly to me. I thought they would go quick, like a bunny, but they are still here. So if you like any of those, they're available. All right, so these were all yesterday. This is today's 5028 Peach Adventuring. Now, I have this large mala length. Beth, the number on the Amazonite, 5026. 5026. And I think I have 2 strands of that left. So we have this large strand. This is Onyx, 8mm Onyx rounds, $36 for all of that. That's a great deal. 5331. 5331. And this is Onyx. What can I say about it? It's black. It's nice. It's shiny. And there's a heck of a lot of beads on that strand. That is probably like a triple strand. Let's see. It might be more like a double strand. 32 inches, close to 32 inches, a little over maybe. Beautiful 8mm black onyx. If you like it, we have 1 strand. That's it. That's all we've got. These big strands sold out really quickly because, you know, that's a great deal. So I show the great deals to people when they come in. We have just this 1 strand left. Black is sometimes a harder color to sell because people want color. But sometimes you want a black bead. It's a good deal for those. Next up, these are coated Labradorite. And like I said, I don't mind dyed things. I don't mind coated things as long as I know. And when you take Labradorite that already has a beautiful kind of flash to it and you add that extra coating to it, you get really, really pretty flashy beads. Maybe you want a little bit of flash, a little bit of bling. I know some of you out there like the bling. So this is only $18. These are, I think, 10. These are 10mm. 10mm coated Labradorite. Look at that. Look at those flashes happening, just sitting there. Just sitting there. I have a few strands of this. I think I have 3 or 4 strands of this. I think we got a lot of this when we bought it. 4719. It's just such a great deal. $18 for that. That was a great deal. We had to get a bunch of it. And I think it's really pretty. You can make an earring out of one of those. Maybe use a Labradorite drop on the bottom or something. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, only $18. 4719. 4719. I know some of y'all like chips, so I like to throw in some chips sometimes. These are Rutilated quartz, right? And that's with that golden color through it. Rutilated chips. Just all various sizes and shapes. These are tumbled, so these are smooth chips. And I only have 1 strand of this, 1 strand left. $7. 2238. 2238. Very pretty. Very pretty. So 2238, only $7. That's a good deal too. All right. Next up, something that doesn't get, you know, necessarily a good name, magnesite. A lot of times magnesite is dyed, right? And it takes on, it looks like turquoise. So a lot of people don't like magnesite because it gets a bad rap for being fake turquoise sometimes, but it can be pretty. And these are 14 millimeter white magnesite rounds. 14 millimeter white magnesite rounds. They kind of look like white marble, right? 14 millimeter white magnesite rounds. I think this is the last strand of these available. $24. 2714 is the SKU. 2714. $24. White magnesite 14 millimeter rounds. I think they're really pretty. I think they're cool. Next up, 6 millimeter, which, is this really 6 millimeter? My eyes, I told you my eyes today. These are between like 5 and 6 millimeter, 4 to 6 millimeter, really. More like 5 to 6 millimeter. Tourmaline rounds, kind of rounds. They're a little bit off. It's like a hand done, hand cut kind of thing. But the color in these is incredible. They're just juicy. They're that juicy tourmaline. Only 11 freaking dollars. Like, that's beautiful. 4689 is the SKU. I don't know. Like, look at that. I'm just going to put everything on my sleeve now because this it looks better on there than it does in my hand. Look at the color. Natural tourmaline. And $11 only for that strand. Again, 4689. There it is. I think I have 2 strands. I think I have one more still in the tray. So 2 people could get these, or 1 person could get both. At $11, it's worth it. It's worth every penny. This is the last one of these. These are 7 millimeter matte red garnet rounds. 7 millimeter matte. You don't often see red garnet done in matte because people like to flash the garnet, right, and make it shiny. But it's so interesting in this matte color, or matte texture, I guess is more like it. Let me see if I can get a light on these. These are really pretty stones. It's hard without natural light, but look, they are really pretty stones. They're just done in matte instead of the flashy, polished look that garnet usually gets. They're 4481. If you're interested, I have 1 strand left, and they're only $17.50. Only $17.50. Let's see what they look like on here. You can see a little bit more of that red on there. That beautiful, that purpley red color that garnet is known for. When you polish these, they shine good. You really see that, but seeing them in matte is different, and I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. That's why we bought them. Matte gets a bad rap sometimes because it's not as flashy, right? But it's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, 2 more strands to go, and then we're done for today. Eagle Eye rounds, 10 millimeter Eagle Eye rounds. Now these, I believe, we have in the online store in all various sizes. I think 10, 8, and 6 millimeter, if I'm not mistaken. But I wanted to show you them on camera because, sitting, they're kind of just gray, right? But they are really pretty beads. They have some of that flash to them as they move. Just pretty. I love the color. Stormy cloud gray, right? So these, if you like, the tag came off, 4706, and they are only $20 a strand. These are the 10 millimeter Eagle Eye rounds. Again, I believe these are in the online store, and you can get them there, or you can request them through me. And the last strand I have to show you today, the last strand are Faceted Tubes. These are Onyx Faceted Tubes or Faceted Barrels. I know some of you love that shape. I do too. One of my favorites. Don't see it all the time, so we grab some when we do. Onyx, full strand of Onyx Faceted Barrels, only $18. Only $18. 4661. 4661. All right. Ooh, those are pretty. Pretty. Okay, so let me go ahead. I'm going to flip this camera around here again real quick. Whoa, I lost you for a second. Hopefully you're still there. I accidentally almost force quit my browser here. Let me scroll this up. And hello again. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found something that you like out there. If you do, please send us an email over here. Send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com, with the SKUs that I showed you today. We need those SKUs in that letter that you send us, that email that you send us. We also need your name. So put the SKU, we need your name, because sometimes emails don't come with names and I have to write back and say, who are you? And we need your mailing address, where it's going to go to, because that depends on if I need to put taxes in there, and what state you're on and what taxes I might have to do. So make sure that you put your shipping address, where it's going to ultimately go, and that should be it. Now, if you're sending us a message, if you're not using our email and you're sending us a message, then you also have to send us your email, because we send invoices via email. All right. So thank you. Thank you for joining me today. I had fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you back here. We don't do any of these on the weekend, so we'll see you back here on Monday. This weekend is going to be busy. We're going to be moving the online store probably all weekend. So wish us luck. All right. And I hope you all have a great one. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for all of your support and for keeping us busy. And just enjoy yourselves this weekend. I hope you get to do that. All right. We'll talk to you very soon. See you Monday. Bye, everybody.